Hey guys, it is Sunday. Going online, gonna do some Uber. Still hearing plenty of air show noise. Pretty annoying, but oh well. So yeah, got an Istanbul shawarma request pretty quickly. Yeah, the air show boys are doing something. It's just really loud, guys. You know, every year a lot of people complain about it, and I'm one of those people. Like, I'm listening to a podcast on my over-ear headphones, and you know, if I can't hear the sound right next to my ears, like, this shit is too loud, which it was sometimes. Anyways, did that delivery, and around the corner was a Dollarama, so checking that out right now. I've always kind of wondered about their preserved moss. Like, is this real moss, or is this just like some shit colored like moss? And on the packaging, it wasn't too helpful. Although on the big one that cost $4, it did say that it was like just preserved moss, natural stuff, and it's good for terrarium use. So I was like, yeah, you know, I'll give it a shot for testing purposes. You know, $4, like, come on, you could kind of just pick up moss from the ground. But if I justify it by being like, it's an experiment, it's a cheap experiment, so we'll mess with that later. Anyways, I made my way to the waterfront, and I want to get some sand. And I looked at Sugar Beach, but that sand wasn't good enough. I was like, that's more of a sandbox kind of sand. I want something that interacts with the water. And yeah, the walkway here looks like that's coming along. They're extending the walking area, I guess. But anyways, I'm making my way to Cherry Beach now. Having a stop at the new Don River outlet here. It's looking nice. That'll be cool when that's like linked up or whatever. And yeah, Cherry Beach. It's pretty busy out here. I guess it's kind of like the last weekend of summer. Pretty sure kids are going back to school on Tuesday. At least I think that's how it was, right? We always went back to school after Labor Day. So yeah, plenty of people enjoying their last day, it seems. And yeah, found a, you know, not too busy of a spot. There's still people around and stuff, but not enough that they're gonna like be looking at me without like meaning to. So I did collect some sand. Probably not supposed to like collect things like this from a public place for everyone to enjoy, but like, come on, they're not gonna miss a few cups of sand, right? So this is how I'm doing it on the sly. I just have my pannier bag lined with a plastic bag and just put a bit of sand in there. No biggie. And I also found some plants just like tumbling in the water, so I'll try putting that in the tank and see if anything grows. Plus there's probably like microorganisms and stuff that are like good. Hopefully they're good. Yeah. So yeah, Adam messaged me, see if I was doing anything, and I was like, yeah, you know, I'm kind of close by. We could meet up and hang out. So yeah, we're gonna hang out for a bit. And I was kind of hungry, so we're going to Loblaws, and we're gonna get some chicken and some pizza buns. You know, enough to have a little picnic in the park. And yeah, headed over to Woodbine Beach area. This time over to like the peninsula part of it, because hopefully it'll be less crowded over there or whatever. Slash, I mean, like, it's just nicer to set up on the grass and have a nice view of the water. I'm like, oh yeah, look at this bounty. And it got a bit cloudy, so that was nice to not be in direct sun. And yeah, we tried to work on Don's bike a little bit. Something's like up with the gear shifting. Like, kind of wondering if there's some gunk in the cable housing or something was weird with it, because it wasn't like going to its heaviest gear all the time. I don't know. But, we tried. Anyways, biking on. And, went online around 7 p.m. I guess. It wasn't very long until I got a request for a Starbucks. It was only a $3 one, but it was headed west, so kind of works out for me since I'll be heading home soon anyways. So did that drop off in the lobby. Kind of weird, you got some brown rice, some open coffee, some moldy bread here. Weird. And then there's a food basics request. 18 units? No thank you. Not for $11. And then it came back again as $13, so I was like, again, still no. I think anything over 10 units or whatever, I'm like, I don't know if it's really worth having to search around and message the people, and there's definitely going to be times when something's not available or exactly what they want. So it's just easier to not do those. Anyways, yeah, riding through UFT. Looks like Frosh is gonna start soon. I assume those people in the same colored shirts were Froshers. But I did get another 2 requests, so I went and did those. I don't think it was like great money or whatever, but it wasn't very far out of the way. And yeah, and then I went home and went offline. My battery's a little bit low now, but again, probably could have stayed out for longer. $19. $2.31 for the week. You know, better than some of my past weeks, but still a little low. But anyways, it's aquarium time. I'm gonna keep the, well, I emptied out one of the aquariums so I could fill it, and I'll keep some of the water in the other one so I can fill it up with that water. I'm gonna use potting soil as my bottom layer, my nutrient layer. I'm kind of going for a Wallstead method. I wasn't really sure if this was the perfect soil to use for the bottom, but it seems like it doesn't have added fertilizers or like chemicals, hopefully. The fertilizers can be like too much for fish, and it shouldn't help, or it shouldn't bother any plants. And since I'm not really planning on putting fish in here, I think it'll be okay. But maybe I will one day, who knows. But yeah, I wanted to have it be like a really thick layer of substrate, so I mixed in a lot of dirt. I feel like a lot of YouTubers who are making their fish tanks make their substrate like very shallow. And since I'm growing plants in here, I want it to be pretty thick. And so the dirt, it would just float and like, you know, mess up your water. That's why you have to cap it off with sand or gravel. But I think sand is kind of preferable. And this sand is, I mean, it's natural sand. So it's the way it is. I see some people will buy like a pool sand or like a really bright white sand, and that probably looks cool in some cases, but I think I'm fine with it just being natural sand. Plus this stuff, it's probably bioactive, right? I just got it from the lake, so there's probably helpful microbacteria and stuff like that in there. And yeah, I gave it a little fill. Hopefully that'll be good. I'm kind of like basing my planting after this guy who has a fish shop in San Francisco. He's all about deep gravel. And apparently that's like good. And looking at his fish tanks, I was like, they look good to me. Like, look at all these plants. This one doesn't seem that deep, but I don't know. Just compared to like a lot of other examples, like he's got deep gravel. Like here's a bunch with pretty deep gravel. That's like 25% of the tank is gravel. And I'm like, yeah. So I think I am a little bit light on sand, but I used all the sand that I had, so maybe I'll collect some more sand eventually. But it seems like things were chill. Hopefully most of the air bubbles got out of there. You know, as long as there's not like a huge air bubble that shifts all the dirt up through the sand, it should be alright. And yeah, gonna start planting some of those plants that I found. These looks like a stem plant. From what I'm hearing, you just put it into the sand and let the plant figure out the rest. It'll grow its roots and hopefully make it to the bottom nutrient layer, and things will be good. I was a little bit nervous how much air bubbles are coming out of the sand when I'm like planting stuff, but yeah, hopefully everything's fine. This clump of plants kind of looked like it was more algae than plant, but again, I'm kind of thinking of this as just a big experiment. Like, who knows? You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just gonna put a bunch of stuff in there and see what happens. And I've had this this shrimp jar for a long time. I think all the shrimp are dead in it, but it's like, well, might as well just let it do its thing. Since it's in this jar, it was very hard to do anything. I made this metal rod into a hook that I could kind of clean the glass with, but couldn't really do anything else. I was able to hook out this huge chunk of plants, and it kind of messed up. I was holding like this soaking wet thing of plants as I carried it over to the aquarium, and I just hooked it in to one that I've been planting, not realizing how much algae and like dead shit is on here. So a bunch of that fell into the bottom, and it looks pretty gross now. Yeah, pretty yeah, not great. Should have rinsed this and picked it apart in a separate area, but oh well. It is what it is, guys. And yeah, set up that LED strip of lights that I got from a yard sale like a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was just 1 week, I don't know. But yeah, with that on some plastic as a makeshift lid, I can light it up, and hopefully that'll help grow out the plants. I think I'm only gonna run it for like 5 or 6 hours. Apparently you don't want to overlight your plants, otherwise you're just gonna get algae. So hopefully that's enough time. You can see all the gunk has settled down to the bottom, which is good, instead of it clouding up the water the whole time. I was kind of hoping to see some like life in here, since I'm using a lot of just like stuff I found outside. Apparently our water has chloramine in it, which doesn't break down as fast as chlorine. Like if your water has chlorine in it, you can just leave it out for a day and then the chlorine will evaporate. But the chloramine sticks around, so maybe it like killed any micro bacterias in there. Well, we'll find out.